Just give the guest the pickle. I know that sounds really weird, but that was in fact the very first bit of training information I was ever given for my first job in hospitality. So picture this, you sit down for your very first day of training and your trainer pulls up this old, grainy, horribly acted video for you to watch. And the video depicts a server and their guest. The guest orders something off the menu and they say, oh, by the way, can I get some extra pickles with that? And the server says, yeah, I can do that, but it's gonna be an extra $1. And the guest asks, seriously? You're gonna charge me an extra $1 for some pickles? And the server says, well, yeah. And then the trainer comes on and says, hey, maybe you should just give the guest the pickles. Now, I definitely had some issues with that particular bit of training because so often it is put on the frontline worker to be the one to enforce policy, and then the second it goes up to management, they give the guest the pickle. Or even when you decide as the frontline employee to give the guest the pickle, you then get in trouble for giving away too many pickles. But I do think that there was a good message in saying that if it enhances the guest experience and if it really is no skin off of your back and it will make the guest experience better, go ahead and just give the guest a pickle. It's not that big of a deal, it's a pickle. Now I'm going to tell you a different story and I want you to keep what I just taught you in mind in regards to what happens in this story. So this particular story actually comes from my aunt, to be specific, my bonus mom's sister. So my bonus and my Aunt Melissa, okay? My Aunt Melissa has 2 sons, my bonus cousins, and both sons are very active in sports, and her youngest son right now is very into soccer. So he had a soccer tournament coming up, and one of the other moms went and took charge of booking the accommodations. Now, I do believe it was this mom's first time ever booking the group accommodations for the entire soccer team, so I don't hold it against her that she, whether it was accidental or not, ended up booking through a third party. And this is gonna be important later. I have to be entirely honest that I'm not certain how these third-party group reservations work, but I do know that my aunt was sent a link to go ahead and reserve her room as part of that group's block of rooms. So she reserves the room for Friday and Saturday night. Later, she finds out that her son's tournament isn't going to be until Saturday afternoon, so she really doesn't need the Friday night booking. So she gives a call to the hotel and says, hey, can I go ahead and cancel Friday night and get a refund? And the hotel rightly does say, I'm sorry, we can't modify your reservation because it was booked through a third party. So I believe she calls a third party, and then there's this whole back and forth where finally she just decides, you know what? I will go ahead and pay for both nights because the hotel is already 100% sold out, and apparently there are a lot of people who are vying to try to get into this hotel for the weekend. I suppose there was more than just a soccer tournament going on in the area. So she said, you know what? Rather than risk trying to cancel and rebook and end up with no room, I'll just pay for both nights. So we're about a week out, and she calls the hotel back and tells them, I'm keeping both nights, but I will not be there for Friday night. So can you please leave a note in the reservation that says that just because I don't turn up on Friday, I'm not a no-show. I am just going to be coming Saturday instead. Do not cancel this reservation. And the front desk agent is very kind, very helpful, says, yeah, absolutely, I'll leave a note. This reservation will not be canceled. You'll have your room for Saturday night. Okay? Okay. Great. Everything's great, right? So Friday comes around and my aunt calls the hotel again, and I'm so very proud that she did this because I do highly encourage to keep up that line of contact. Mistakes can happen, notes can get misplaced, or someone can forget to do something, so it's always good. I know it's annoying, but it is good to double check. So she calls the hotel back on Friday and says, once again, I will not be arriving tonight, but I am going to be arriving tomorrow, so do not mark this as a no-show. Do not cancel this reservation. As I've already prepaid, this was a prepaid non-refundable rate, so just letting you know, I am definitely going to be coming. And the front desk agent says, okay, great, I do see that we have that note for you, not a problem. And then my aunt says, okay, great, by the way, I'll be there Saturday morning around 10 a.m. or so I'll come and I'll check into my room then. And the front desk agent says, oh, well, actually, you can't come in on Saturday at 10 a.m. And my aunt says, well, why not? I paid for the room Friday night, so therefore I can get into it Saturday morning because it will be empty Friday night. Right? And the front desk agent admits to her that, no, they've sold the room for Friday night. Means that she cannot come in Saturday morning because someone will still be in the room. And so she says, oh, okay, so you're going to refund me for Friday night then, right? And the front desk agent says, well, no, I can't do that because you booked third party. No. If this is not currently blowing your mind, let me lay this out for you, okay? Just to make sure we're all on the same page. My aunt booked and paid for Friday and Saturday night. She did call and say, hey, I won't be there Friday, can I cancel? And they said, no, you can't. We can't refund you, we can't do anything because you booked third party. So she said, oh, okay, well, I won't be there Friday night, but I will be there Saturday morning. And they say, oh, actually, we've sold the room for Friday night, so you can't get there Saturday morning. I, on my channel here, have told people that if you want to get in early on the day you're arriving, then you might want to go ahead sometimes and just book the night before to guarantee the room will be empty and ready for your arrival. The hotel should not be selling that room that you have booked and paid for. And I know that quite often I love to tell stories where the hotel and the hotel workers are the heroes and the mean guests are the villains. However, there is a difference between being a Karen and standing up for yourself. And in this case, when my aunt called me and told me about this, I said, you need to run that right up the line. Because apparently, and again, there is only so much power that a front desk agent has. So the front desk agents were very nice, were very helpful, but very apologetic with saying there's really nothing that we can do. So I was like, all right, run this to the manager. Go as high up as you possibly can go. Because, and I will state this as my opinion for legal reasons, but it is my opinion that that was a cash grab, completely immoral, and basically a scam for the hotel to do that. For the hotel to allow someone to pay for that night and then sell that room again to make double profit from one room, that is so beyond wrong. But because they were on a schedule, my aunt had no choice but to go Saturday afternoon, check into her room, stay the night, and then try to pursue this afterwards. And unfortunately, she still hasn't gotten her money back. I encouraged her to go as far up as she could possibly go. She talked to the general manager, and even the general manager said, there's nothing I can do. The general manager said, you booked through a third party. I don't have your payment information. I can't cut you a check. I can't refund you in any way, which is a lie. That general manager has several options. She can contact the third party and give them the refund to then pass along to my aunt if she wants to do it all through the third party, or she can cut a check, go to her accounting department, cut a check, or she can send my aunt a credit card authorization form in order to legally obtain her credit card information and refund her that way. Saying there's nothing I can do, unacceptable, because this was not the third party's fault. The third party, for once, did nothing wrong here. This was completely on the hotel. The hotel sold that room even though someone had already paid for it. That is fact. My opinion is that they did this because they thought that no one would ever find out. My opinion is that they did not expect to ever be found out because they did not think that my aunt would try to get there Saturday morning. And unfortunately, I wish I had a better ending for the story, but I don't. Corporate is refusing to do anything. She even tried to dispute it on her credit card, but because it was a prepaid, non-refundable, even her credit card has said, sorry, there's nothing we can do. So at this point in time, unless this hotel sees this video and would like to correct their mistakes, then there's not much that she can do other than refuse business. And she has already informed them that her soccer team will never be booking at this location again. And you know, I guess if the hotel is hurting for money so badly that they won't even refund one night to someone, then losing out on an entire soccer team's contract probably will hurt them, I guess. Or they could have just given her the pickle and refunded her the what, $150, $200 for the night? Because seriously, at the end of the day, just give the guests the pickle. But of course, I could be biased since this happened to a family member. Now, I would like to think that if one of you sent me the story, I would be just as up in arms and ready to raise a pitchfork or two. But if you have a different opinion, if you also work in hotels and you are seeing a different angle to this that I am not seeing, please feel free to go in the comments, give me your opinion, give me your thoughts and your perspective as a front desk agent, because I am very curious to know what you think about a situation like this, and has your hotel ever done something similar and why? Thank you so much for watching / listening to this story time turned rant. Will I turn it into a skit? Eventually, maybe, but I need to cool down first. I hope you have a great day, and remember that advocating for yourself does not make you a bad guest or a Karen or anything like that, okay? Okay, you have a great day. Bye-bye.